right, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so the main thing I want to kind of go over today, I'm just going to have to make sure that everybody who's not here watches the video so that we can get this out to everybody. So this is our the Kalka website, okay, or the Facebook. And if you guys see on here, on a regular basis, we're doing all kinds of things, and there's a couple of shares on some of these things, a couple of comments here and there. They're sending out things, some are like more generic things that are showing for air conditioning, and showing it, you know, for a fully functional home, take care of your plumbing, HVAC, pictures of us, that they came out and took. There's all kinds of different things that are going on. Mike working up in the air conditioner, there's Ryan. So they're sending them out on a regular basis, trying to get it out on the Facebook page, right? So that's part of our social marketing. The thing that's going to help us is for you guys to be going into our Facebook, because this is going to affect you guys in a positive way, and sharing those things. So I'm not really a Facebook person, but and I'm down in San Diego, you are too, so that makes it a little more difficult. But you never know who of your friends or family or friends of friends or whatever may live in the area. I had somebody ask me yesterday, hey, do you guys work in Vista? I said, well, we can. You know, so it's not like, it's not any further down there than it is really to the northern parts where we work all the time. So it's just something that will help. We're going to do some videos too. Kevin and I were talking yesterday. Some more educational type of videos.
DIYs, right?
Yeah. Some do-it-yourself type of things, or for an example, hey, your toilet's running, here's something to check for, and then just kind of show a little short video of it so that a customer can say, oh, but then when they do have anything that's major where the money's really going to be, they're going to call a professional.
Or they try to and it doesn't work.
Or they try doing it and it doesn't work, right? But the goal is to build that relationship with clients, and I know of a couple of companies that do that, and it works really, really, really well. Now they do things on LinkedIn, they do things, they post things on their Facebook and everything else as well. And I was going to show you guys one of them because it's kind of interesting, and so this is something that Rooter Hero does, the company I used to work for.
That company is awesome.
And you know, they do their own pictures as well, but you'll notice that they even have like little links, 5 signs it's time to call your plumber. These are things that they do for the community as well. They have little videos, as you can see. So we recently helped Camp Ara with their plumbing. So they'll volunteer and say, you know, they get donations from Ferguson or whatever, and they do things for the community that they work in that'll basically get their name out there. Because it's name recognition, it's just, you know, they see your logo, we have our orange and blue circle with K in it. And then when they talk about their people who go through training, they do like what they're calling it a university. But you need a reliable plumber. There's just all kinds of things that they're putting in here. Here's another thing, they kind of educate people on liquid Drano and stuff like that, how it's bad for you to be putting that in there, right? So they're doing all kinds of little things, and this is what I want. And here you go again, they're showing, you know, misconceptions about drain cleaning. They're giving the customer free information so that it's not like an ad. Because the last thing we want to do is just keep inundating people with a whole bunch of ads. $29 off, $49 off, whatever, right? It doesn't matter. If you're giving them information that they're going to read, and it's putting your name out there, that's what we want to try to do. But your help in this is going to be to share on a regular basis anything that gets posted. So keep an eye on your Facebooks. You want to basically like us and then share anything that you think would be valuable to people that you know. Because you don't know where they're going to be or where they live or their friends live, and they share it with family, and it just keeps on, you know, exponentially getting larger and larger and larger. Okay? So that's what we want to try to do. Same thing we were talking about with Iggy yesterday of doing for the seismic. There's certain things like that we do that are an educational piece, like the seismic gas valve shut off. You know, people, I know we're in an earthquake area, California, but people don't realize what that is and what it does and how it works. The same thing with the fin. You know, if you can do a little educational piece on that, and then people call you because they're more interested and they've already kind of got an idea of what it is, it's a lot easier to sell something like that when you walk in and you talk to them. So those are the kind of things that we want to try to start doing, and Kevin's already going to be doing now. We're getting back into, he's going to be training on the Tuesdays. There's a calendar, you guys can see what trainings there are and try to be here when you can for those. We're also doing some additional marketing things. We know we're slow, you know, we're the first ones that notice it because we see the board all day long and, you know, at night, and we see when the calls come in and when they don't come in, and, you know, we've got a couple things coming up right now, a couple of bigger jobs, but, you know, you never know. And so we're trying to do some marketing things, some different marketing things that we haven't done that are more cost effective and hit more direct people. And Kevin was brought to me a company, it's basically through the mail company, and what they do is, normally when you mail something now, even a postcard's 35 cents to mail, okay? Plus you gotta print it and everything else, you know, and then if you're gonna mail it directly to them, you gotta buy, typically you have to buy the addresses for the communities that you want. So it becomes really expensive to do that. I mean, you're talking 2 people, it costs you $1, so you do 1,000 people, you know, you're spending $500 just for, and you might get 2 to 3% if you're lucky, right? Well, this is a lot less expensive. It's 19 cents, but what they do is they go on mail routes. So it's kind of an interesting concept, and I never really realized that they did this, but you don't have to put addresses on them. You choose the mail route. They have like a map, and you can choose which mail routes you want. We're looking at the stuff on the coast, you know, the higher end stuff that's on the coast, and we're gonna do some test things first. So it's gonna take a little bit of time, but hopefully once we see which ones work, then we can inundate all of the different areas more with that particular, you know, flyer. So it's basically the postcard size, double-sided. There'll be one thing on there that's benefits everybody. So if it's $100 off of this service or $50 off of this, maybe that's on one side, and then the other side is gonna be something that we're trying new. Hydronics could be, you know, tankless water heater, whatever we wanted to throw out there. And we're going to try those different things and see how they work, and then we'll go from there. But it's only 18.7 cents per being mailed out, so it's a lot less, you know, like half basically of the cost of mailing them out. But everyone in that route gets it. It's just kind of a handout with the mail. So how we get them designed and everything is going to be important because we want them to stand out. But that's what we're going to be doing. Okay. Kevin?
No, I don't really have much.
Oh, I thought you had a whole list of stuff that you were going through.
No, I'm just I'm actually kind of multitasking.
Making your list and checking it twice.
He's gonna be taking people in his office one by one.
All right, so, anyway, so that's what I wanted to kind of go over and make sure you guys are sharing. Yeah, what's Iggy?
Speaking on that, I mean, a lot of people, I think we all know that people like to do it, they like to do it themselves. They want to try to do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday for the seismic valve thing, I didn't find one video with that valve to how to install it.
That's good.
I was just curious. I'm like, I wonder how this works. And all of them are the horizontal ones. None of them had the little
The vertical?
marble one,
Yeah.
or ball bearing, whatever you want to call it. So maybe you guys should open up like a YouTube channel, just Kalka Plumbing, and then, hey guys, little things. Hey, this is how you clean up your toilets or your EC.
If you go under our
small little
YouTube,
things.
it's not for customers right now. Our YouTube is for our meetings, for our people, but we could do that. We could open up
It
something.
works, 'cause
What I want to do is post those videos on Facebook and then share them with people, and it'll end up being, it'll be a YouTube video.
Right,
but
but
it'll
it'll
be-
be on
but
YouTube.
it
I'm
won't-
sure everybody says, hey, how do you do it?
Yeah.
I'll YouTube it. Just
Yeah.
YouTube it.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 things to check before you call your
Right.
HVAC company
Yeah.
out.
How do
One
you
is
check it?
filter.
Batteries in your
Just little
thermostat.
things. I mean, you have to get on detail because then you lose
The
customers.
large
you
pipe
guys said,
coming
but-
out of the
Yeah, we want
condenser,
to
is
do
it
quick
cold?
things, like we were talking with
Yeah.
Iggy yesterday. We don't want to show them installing the whole thing like from beginning to end, like just kind of Kevin was suggesting going really fast through the install, and then you show the last, okay, now look, this is what it does. Shuts it off, you have an earthquake, you can, rattle it, and then you see it shut off, show the ball bearing, shut it off, and then this is how you reset it. Once it's on, it's really easy. If you see something coming and you want to turn it off yourself, you can just, again, you turn the other little button and it just goes. So the educational things that we want to do, I think are gonna, for those higher end little niche type of things like the fin and the earthquake gas valve, those things are going to be I think, things that we can get that other people aren't gonna get because we're educating them on it. And they're not gonna get that from anybody else, right? So that's kind of the goal behind it, just so you guys know where we're kind of going with it, okay? So you guys, since you missed part of this, please watch the rest of the video up until you guys walked in. So you too. I'm looking at Ryan, but I know you guys
Yeah, I was-
are
I was
together,
like,
you guys
he was
came
here
together.
today.
So, all right? All right, so,
Yeah, if you haven't, have you guys ever seen on Facebook where they prepare meals quickly? And it's kind of an overhead shot.
Yeah.
And you watch the combination of foods go in. And the woman who did that, I kind of, I listened to her once on a podcast somewhere. And she was talking, it was a social media podcast that I listened to. And she was talking about how she came up with that idea, et cetera, et cetera. She's a very wealthy woman now as a result of that, extremely wealthy, just from putting those videos together, and they're highly watched. And what happens is that, you know, there's a lot of people a lot of companies who advertise on her page, you know, like big companies, like whoever, food suppliers, et cetera, people who make dishes and products that might be related to whatever they're doing. So I'm not trying to get rich doing that, but what I'm saying is that when you're more inclined to, if you see something coming together, it's natural for the human brain to want to watch that creation. It's creation and it's quick. It's not like, God, I got to watch these lunky videos, because I don't know how many times I've been to videos where, oh my God, you know, his introduction's 5 minutes, you know, my God, who has this time, you know? And I just click out, you know? Because getting information, you know, there's so much of it out there, you want to spend a lot of time doing it. So what I want to do is do a series of videos like this that are short, not necessarily from above, but you know, but that show us doing a task very quickly and capturing people's attention, basically. And you know, these types of things, by the way, if we're set up properly, and I'm pretty sure we are, when you start to get a lot of Facebook traction, social media traction like that, it ranks us better on our organic page of our website. Starts to rank up when we got all these people are following and doing likes and et cetera, et cetera. And then you can also, there'll be links in these videos to click to our website, make it easy for people to shop, et cetera. So that's kind of the general concept, but a lot of times, you know, you guys are a lot, you know, more creative oftentimes and say, hey, we should do a video of this. You know, hey, we should do a video of that, you know. And you know, just short, simple things that will explain to people, you know, what it is we're doing and why we're doing it and why they should do it, you know. Like a good one would be, you know, condensate safety switch, you know. We take apart the PVC and show them, you know, in fast order what we did and why we did it, you know. And we turn around and say, yeah, you know, unfortunately, every summer I get these phone calls and it's raining from my ceiling, you know, and it's their air conditioner in the attic that they had these safety switches. They would have saved $10,000 in water damage and, you know, all the distraction, loss of time, et cetera, you know, and just wanted you to know that these devices are out there. It's going to be these little quick, helpful things that have these videos attached to them. And I think they'll gain a lot of traction, because I don't really see that being done anywhere.
yeah, and I see Rooted Hero only because I used to work with them, I liked them, and they're on my page and they come in, so I'm like, wow, that's interesting. But area drains is another one. You know, as rainy season's coming up, you know, Kevin's talking about area drains, but if we educate people on how they work, and you can't just put a cable and clear an area drain, there's hard T's, you know, 90s, you can't get around those turns. So you gotta go from 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. I mean, it's 10 times the work as a sewer drain. You can't just go through a clean out and it's gonna push from a lateral into a sewer main and that's it. You know, you've gotta go from spot to spot, and sometimes back again, because you're pushing, if you have a T, you're pushing right across where you wanted it to go, and sometimes you're going back and forth. You have to jet, you know, really to clear out the rocks and the mud and the dirt and whatever. And sometimes roots are in there and it has to be dug up. I mean, but people don't even realize the difference between them. So I think that's a video that we ought to consider doing before it gets too rainy, because
Yeah.
explain the difference, even if it's you know, on a drawing. This is why area drains, they're not like sewer drains, they take a lot more work, so it's gonna cost you more money, especially if you let them go.
Yeah, we
You
could tie a camera head to a jetter head, so we could be, you know, a foot behind or 2 feet behind, however that works, and we could show it. We just turn it on, and then, you know, show the inside of the pipe, before and afters. We could show it cutting roots, you know.
Yeah.
And people, like I said, people are more visual. They like to be entertained, you know. And it's kind of like a short story, and instead of me talking about it, you know, just show them. You know, stuff like that. It'll be fun, I think. You know.
And they
Fun.
loop them too, so like they'll do, you know, they'll see the before, then the after, you know, like only maybe it's 10 seconds and it just loops again and does the same thing over. So as you're scrolling by, you keep seeing that thing looping by, you're like, oh, all right, let me go back and see what that is, because it catches your attention. So those are the things that I've seen, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, that's what we need to do, just to get our name out there, recognition, Kalka everywhere. But it's gonna take you guys being part of that and sharing stuff and looking at it yourself. Even though you don't wanna go on Facebook for yourself, go on for yourself this way, I mean for the company. Because what helps us helps you, alright? Okay? Alright, so I know that you have a job for a leak or something, pinhole leak or
Yeah, a
location.
friend of mine in Huntington Beach has a slab leak. In fact,
So-
we were there yesterday. One of you guys might have been there doing a tune-up, Huntington?
No, it was
No?
tune up in Huntington?
Well, the reason I was gonna say is because we had a call come in this morning for a shower drain. Sarah's off today,
Oh,
she
yeah,
had
what's
something,
it?
she had already
I
requested.
wasn't
one, but-
Huntington last
So I have Iggy that I could have do that, or it may be better if Iggy goes with you, because a lot of times I need a second person and probably benefit him to do that.
I'm gonna need
Send
somebody
Gail.
with me because I'm leaving this afternoon early. So somebody.
So somebody, if you need to have it done, I mean, Iggy can kind of maybe, you know, do whatever needs to be done, but then I can have Galen to do the shower valve, I'm kind of thinking, I mean, the shower drain. Because I think he'd learn more with you being there with the leak detection and all that. He knows how to locate lines and all that, but I mean, I'm just saying that he might be a better person for you to go with, either him or Galen, either one you want.
No, I'll be happy to take Iggy.
Okay. Yeah, it'll give him kind of a, more time he spends with you or Sarah, I think, is gonna be better for him on the sales part too. Because one of the things that guys, and I talked to Iggy hasn't come from the commission really part that like we're doing. And Iggy does the same thing that a lot of guys have done, my previous companies that I have done commission on since. He worked for my company, and then the company that bought us out, he worked for us for a few years, and then he worked for somebody else, but it's always been an hourly position. I brought Iggy from Circuit City, we worked together, I was the operations manager there, and I brought him from Circuit City when I went to do the whole pipelining thing, and we went from here to here, and then we got sold, and he's used to hourly, but the reason I bring this up is because even as the new apprentices come in and don't understand, he's like freaking out about things already, because he's saying, wow, you're gonna charge this much for that? Holy smokes, I can get it for this. You know, I mean, we would do the whole house pipelining for $8,000-$10,000. Sarah's doing wanting to repipe a house for 17 grand. He goes, how the heck do you guys do that? So you got to change your mindset in that, and I've already told him that yesterday. I said, you know, you got to understand that. What am I worth? You know, what are you guys worth? When you're out there, you're not working for $15 an hour. You know, you're not handyman. You guys have been in the business a long time, and you're going to do quality work that's going to last. We're going to warranty it. You got to show the value in everything you do. So what I was explaining to Iggy was, like, for an example, on a water heater, I can go in and do this to a customer, and I'm going to give you A and B. So A, yep, 50-gallon water heater, yes, $2,600. Customer's probably just going to shit their pants, unless they don't care about money, but most of us do. Or they're going to get other bids. Or I can go in there and create value. And when I go in there, I'm going to start and I'm going to say, okay, B here is, all right, Mr. Jones, let me show you here. You see this up here that's kind of all corroded, and this over here, that, you know, start pointing things out. This isn't to code, this isn't to code. I'm going to have to take this water heater out, dispose of it, redo all of this up here, bring it to code by putting this here and this here. I'm also going to, what we do on our system, which is different than any other plumbing company you go to, is we're going to give a water heater flush. You know, I'm going to talk about the HPC so that it benefits them for his HPC so that it benefits him for his furnace and his air conditioner. We can do that here. This is what my price is going to include, and I'm going to give you 6 water heater flushes. You're going to get a 6-year warranty on this, and you're going to get workmanship on this. I mean, you're going to just continue to go on and on and on about all the stuff that you're going to do for them. Plus, I'm going to inspect all of your other plumbing in this today because that's how we do business. We want to make sure we're a plumber, we're your, heating and air company, and all of your stuff is going to be good. So you don't have any major issues going down the line. So you're going to build that value. So when the price comes out at the end at $2,600, it looks like they're getting a lot for what they're paying for. They're not just getting a water heater for $2,600, because that doesn't do anything for anybody. And Galen's the same way. Galen wants to do the work, he can do the work, but he doesn't understand how to do that process. So that's something we either got to train him on, or we just don't ever let him go and try to sell anything, because it's going to, you just start to give a person a price that seems kind of high because you don't build the value, you're going to lose the job 9 times out of 10. So you guys have got to understand that building that value, and what are you worth? What are we worth? It costs a lot of money. If people understood our overhead and what all we have to pay, we have the building, which is expensive. We're in Orange County. We're not in, Chula Vista or, Diamond Bar or somewhere that's less expensive. We're in an expensive area. We have trucks that are expensive for insurance, the payments on the trucks, the maintenance on the trucks. I can tell you how much we spent on just tires and brakes in the last 2 months. We have workers' comp, liability insurance, uniforms. It just goes on and on and on and on. So they have to understand that, we're a company that's here to make money. We've been in business this long. This is how we take care of our customers. There's a lot of value in that. And we can't just be, throwing numbers out and thinking that that's going to get any of us any work in the long term. And build that relationship with the client that makes them want to call us back. And then when we get out there, you do everything you say. You show them everything that was done. You communicate to them 100% of, look, this is what I brought up to code. This goes outside like it's supposed to because that's the current code. This, and this, and that. And I just checked this, by the way, and look, you didn't even realize this thing's going to pop because, or your pressure is 105 psi out here for your whole house, which is not good for your plumbing. I mean, you can, you show them things that they didn't even know that they had problems with, and then you fix them. So, Ryan.
Yeah, I was just thinking of reasons to point some of that out, especially to a customer. How does that really affect them that we're out here? For instance, quite simply, the biggest thing that affects them that we're physically out here next door for all intended purposes is if something happens, we stand by it because we're right next door. We're down the street. We're not 45 minutes, hour and a half, 2.5 hours out. If something's really big and really happening, we can get there.
Right.
It's not going to take another day or two because your house is flooded. And we've done it before. We've gotten phone calls from customers. They're sitting there going, yeah, I just got back from vacation. My house is a pool. And at least I've heard a story from Sarah where she booked it down there as quickly as possible, and she's in there with the customer trying to push all the water out of their house. And that's not something particularly out of the ordinary for us. That's kind of how we do business.
Right. Well, and guys, the other thing about not us just being here is that when you talk about you have to know how to overcome objections. And there are so many YouTube videos on that, and a lot of sales things you can read, things you can listen to, that are sales, overcoming sales objections. So someone says, oh, that just seems too high. And then there's a way that you ask a question and then you shut up. So if you guys want to be good at this and you really want to do well, I'm suggesting to each and every one of you, even if you think you're doing well now, you can always do better. Listen to those things, watch those things, spend a little bit of time, when you're sitting around waiting for the in-between jobs or whatever, and pay attention to that, because you're just using those little phrases that they'll tell you, well, what do you think about this? And then you ask them a question and you just shut up, you don't answer back, you don't say a thing. Those are the kind of things that differentiates people who are successful and who are just, doing okay. You want to make your craft better. And all of us are salespeople to a degree, because we're service and repair, not only technicians. I know Galen's more of a technician right now, or a installer. You do have people like that. You have to have them. But you guys need to be able to, with what we do and how we do run our business, you need to be able to sell. You need to be able to get the customer to listen to you, and you need to be able to explain things to them, and you need to know when to shut up and when to say what to get their response. Okay? So that's just a suggestion. I mean, I recommend it because if you want to succeed, a lot of it is up to you. You can sit here and say, oh, we're slow, we're slow, we're slow. But you get one call and you sell it. I mean, you guys know how, like, Sarah goes out to a call and she has nothing on her board this week, and then next week she has 1 call, 2 calls, 3 calls, 4 calls in one day. And we're rescheduling the last 3 because she gets to the first call and sells it. And then I got to reschedule and try to rearrange things, and then the same thing happens again. She's got 3 calls on the board and she sold something for yesterday. I got to reschedule things. But then she goes out to it and she sells it, and they're like, you're not going to get your next call, Sarah. You can't get your next call. It's because she sold something. And I can't blame her for that. She's doing what she's supposed to do. When it comes like that, and we have enough people now that that shouldn't be as much of an issue of rearranging things a little bit. But if you guys, she's out there for herself and for us, and she knows that if she does these certain things, it's going to get her the money. It's a numbers game. You're not going to win them all, but you can't be discouraged. You've got to get out there and do it. That's it. All right?
Yay.
All right. Yay, hey. Let's go. Let's go, team. Let's make it happen. Do what we can. Take advantage of what we can.